At some point, you may be asked to write a literature review. Maybe you need one as part of your thesis or dissertation, or maybe you've collected lots of scholarly articles for a research project and have been asked to write a review of them for your course, but you may be wondering what exactly is a literature review and how do I go about writing one. In this video, we'll discuss what literature reviews are, what expectations and purposes this kind of project has, and we'll explore some basic elements of writing a literature review. In general, a literature review is an analysis of published resources related to a specific topic. When we talk about the literature in academic writing, we aren't necessarily talking about novels and poems. Instead, when we work on a research project and we use the library or the internet to find all of the books and research articles published about our topic, we refer to this collection of sources as the literature on our topic. A literature review, or a review of the literature, is a type of essay in which you put all of those sources you've collected into conversation with one another, with the goal of demonstrating to your reader what research has already been done about your topic and what others have been saying about your topic. In a literature review, you provide brief summaries of your sources' overall topics, their research methods, and any major findings and conclusions or any big ideas that they communicate. Along with those summaries, you also synthesize the sources together. Synthesis is key to a literature review. Synthesis means to show your reader how your sources relate to one another. That means talking about how they agree or disagree, how they build on top of or challenge one another's findings, or how they take different perspectives on the same topic or issue. Picture the literature review as a transcript of a conversation, except none of the members of the conversation are actually talking directly to one another. Your job as the writer of the literature review is to take these seemingly unconnected bits of this transcript and build them into one coherent conversation. Literature review assignments will have different goals, expectations, and requirements depending on things like your major, the type of literature review that you're writing, and your instructor's specific requirements for the project. Always read your assignment instructions carefully and ask your instructor for clarification or guidance if you have any questions. The guidance provided here in this video is a baseline to help you get started, but your final literature review may look a bit different than the examples that we show here. When it comes time to write a literature review, you've probably already selected a topic and have done some background research to find existing scholarly sources or other resources related to your topic. Now that you have your books or research articles that you've read and taken notes on, the first step to getting started with the literature review is to figure out how the sources relate to one another and how you will organize the literature review essay. Strategies for grouping sources and figuring out the relationships between them are covered in our video called Organizing Sources for a Literature Review. The strategy we'll demonstrate here is one that we show in that video. It's called a thematic organization, but there are plenty of others that you might choose from that would better suit the needs for your project. In our example here, our overall topic will be the use of service learning to teach writing classes. Using the strategies covered in the Organizing Sources for a Literature Review video, we identified three major themes or subtopics that have been discussed or researched in our collected sources. Those themes are student perspectives on service learning, use of personal reflective writing in service learning classes, and building community partnerships for service learning projects. Using our thematic organizational strategy, each theme or trend or subtopic is going to be a potential subsection within the overall literature review. If we were to create an outline of our literature review at this point, the outline might look something like this. We start with an introduction paragraph and end with a conclusion paragraph to frame the review, and then each body paragraph in between will fall under one of those three theme-based sections that we identified. In those body paragraphs, we'll summarize the big ideas from our sources and then synthesize those sources to put their big ideas into conversation with one another. We'll zoom in here on just one body paragraph under one of our thematic sections. We've called this section Student Perspectives on Service Learning, and we have three sources that talk about this theme. Two of them are research articles by Anson and Cruz, and then one is a newspaper article by Jenkins. We'll start with a topic sentence. This broad synthesis overview topic sentence quickly summarizes and synthesizes the main trend in the findings of several of our articles all at once. So we know from reading our sources that student perspectives on service learning can influence the success of students in the course. So as an introductory topic sentence, we could provide this compound summary and synthesis statement to let our reader know what big idea we'll be talking about in this body paragraph. Then in the body paragraph itself, we'll get into more detail by summarizing the main findings and ideas from each of our sources relating to this trend. So we'll start with the source Anson, Since this is a research article, we want our summary to tell our reader what Anson studied, how they studied it, or in other words, what methods they used, and what they found out through their research. So next we'll do the same thing with another source that discusses this theme. Again, since this is a research article summarizing the topic, the methods, and the findings. And finally, our last source isn't a research article, but is instead a newspaper article. So since this source isn't a research article, we don't need to summarize methods or findings. Instead, we'll just provide a brief summary of the article's topic and then all of the big ideas that it gives us about this theme. So at this point, we have provided an overview synthesis topic sentence and short summaries of 3 sources related to this theme. But our sources themselves, it's not very clear how they're related. They're not synthesized yet. We need to clearly demonstrate the relationship between these sources using synthesis language. Synthesis language tells our reader clearly and directly how the sources in our review are related. So synthesis language helps us show similarity, contrast, extension, and any other relationships between these sources. Examples of synthesis words and phrases that could be useful are included here in this chart. In our example, we know that our research article from Cruz agrees with our research article from Anson. We know that Cruz builds on or extends Anson's findings. We also know that our newspaper article by Jenkins says that students generally like to do service learning. This idea supports, reaffirms, or provides further evidence for the claims made in our research articles by Cruz and Anson. So our summaries serve as the main foundation for our review. Adding these synthesis words and phrases in between those summaries acts like the glue to stick our different summaries together and build one coherent conversation out of them. To show the relationships between these summaries and these sources, we'll add in our synthesis words and phrases in between. And finally, to conclude and further synthesize this paragraph, we'll provide a closing statement that, like our broad thematic topic sentence, reiterates the connection between our sources. We could also go a step further and make it clear to our reader why these ideas are important by adding a statement of our own. So that rounds out our body paragraph synthesizing these 3 sources. We provide a broad thematic overview introducing the main theme. We provide brief summaries of the main topic, methods, findings, or big ideas of each of our sources. We use synthesis language to clearly build connections between those sources. And finally, we wrap the paragraph up with a concluding statement that combines the knowledge that these 3 sources give us into one final new idea. A successful literature review body paragraph will certainly engage with at least 2 sources, but it will likely also use several more than that. This is a basic example to demonstrate strategies for synthesizing sources and for thinking about how to structure the literature review body paragraph. Your literature review paragraphs may look a bit different than this once you're done with them. So the heart of the literature review is the work that you do in those body paragraphs to summarize and synthesize your sources. Framing that work with an introduction and conclusion paragraph can further clarify and contextualize the connections and ideas that you discuss throughout the literature review. It can sometimes be an effective approach to write the body of the review first, and then once you know what the body of the review looks like, finish up by writing the introduction and conclusion to frame the review. Consider the introduction as a way to introduce your reader to the overall topic of your review and to ease them into the different themes or subtopics that you'll be dividing the review into. Depending on the kind of literature review that you're writing or the purpose that your assignment instructions have laid out for you, how you frame the review is going to differ. At any point in your literature review project, make an appointment with us at the Writing and Communication Center. We can help you understand the requirements of your literature review project. We can help you write the summaries for your sources. We can help you synthesize your sources. Email us with questions at wcc@utc.edu or visit our website for more information or to book an appointment. Good luck writing, and we hope to see you at the WCC soon.